We're going to change the side racks on this machine. Actually, half of the changing is already done. The machine arrived with them falling apart, which is typical of secondhand machines. We've already done a video on this, but it was many years ago, and our equipment and workstation and light and my help in having Jack with me have improved, and we think we can do better. So here goes.
All right, notice if I'm in the camera view, there's a post and a cap on the post for these parts. And you can see there's a keyhole right here. We call it that because there's a round spot with a slot above it, just like an old style key would go in the lock. Now what happens is these little guys will break off.
We can't see you. Come over here. There we go.
These little guys will break off, but they'll leave this post and cap in the hole.
I have on several occasions erroneously called these end racks. When you go to order them, you will need to call them what the company calls them, side racks.
Right. Now you'll notice I've removed this part of the bed right here. It's just the tray, equipment tray, so that it's easier to get this in. You have to start at the top and slide these into the slot.
Now, since we can't see through your hand, what are you sliding into the slot?
All right. The area between the cap and the actual rail is a little short post.
Yes.
And it has to slide into these holes right here. The problem is that there's a little teeny distance right there, and you don't want to break those.
And there is a left and a right. They're mirror images, so they are not interchangeable.
That's right. If you'll notice, it's supposed to continue the rail to the end of the bed. That's the easiest way to tell. Now, of course, what I've done is I've sprayed this with silicone. So hopefully,
to make it a little easier.
Yeah, hopefully, if you hold it just right, what I've had to do is get around the back side where I can see in here, and you put the one closest to the rail in.
We can't see at all.
Okay. You put the little stub closest to the metal rail in first, and you'll hear it pop into place. Then the other one, and you really have to, camera can't get around here to see them, and you have to do it to get them in. You have to look around from the back side.
Now, actually, you can change them without removing this tool bin, but it is much more difficult, and we do have another whole video on taking off the tool bin, so
That's right.
you might as well.
1, 2.
Aha, that was a good one. Now, you may wonder, what is it for anyway? It doesn't affect anything some of the time. If you're not using the patterning or you're not using the whole width of the bed, you'll never know whether it's there or not. It's when you're making a full-size sweater or blanket so that you're using all the needles, even over here, those patterning drums need something to connect with as you pass the bed. And you have to pass the last needle in order for the pattern to work properly. And therefore, that's what these side racks are about. Jack just loosened the console on the left side because you have to take the end cap off, and he thought maybe he could do it with this amount of extra room. So we'll
And
see.
it's in place, it just doesn't want to pop down.
They are stiff. I have had them pop on first try, but that's, I don't know, 1 out of every 25 times.
There you go, there's one.
There we go. But the tight fit is good. And what happens to the old ones, they don't always wear out. It's sometimes just the age of the rubber. It begins to deteriorate.
This is an instance where if you shoot a little silicone on these every time you pull the machine out, it helps that rubber stay supple.
But a petroleum oil is damaging. So
yes, it
and
has to
and
be
people do
silicone.
sometimes use them because it's fine for the needles. It's just.
But you don't want any oil products on that.
Okay. So those are the side racks replaced.